All right, welcome back, guys. We are changing it up this time. We're going back to my roots, Red Fox Track and Trail, for their 2021 buddy race. They usually have these, or they try to have these once a year at least. These are a load of fun, and I've raced here a million times. I love the place. I love what these guys are doing. So we're going to see if I can remember how to go fast this time. Yeah, you heard that. Old-fashioned shotgun start. Anyway, if you're not familiar with Red Fox Track and Trail, these guys are a fantastic group of people. They got a pretty great property set up, and all of their races go to benefit the local St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So it's just, I try to race here every opportunity I get. It's just for a fantastic cause, and it's just a giant family. It's so much fun. And I wanted to share one more thing with you before we get started. I got to poking around in my analytics, and it turns out 95% of my views are from non-subscribers. I hate to be one of those guys, but if you find yourself watching more than one of my videos, just go ahead and give me a subscribe, and I'd really appreciate that. Alright, and if you're not familiar with buddy races, which you should be, it's a pretty cool concept. You got a two-man team. One person starts, does a lap, comes around, and trades out with the other guy. And you do that back and forth until the race is over. It's a lot of fun. There's some strategy in it. If you're trying to race a certain team, you got to, who's going to race when who's going out. And yeah, it's kind of fun to figure all that stuff out. But the big thing is, the guys that do run a lap together, they can all sit there and talk about their lap, and you know how riders talk. And so you get to do that and hang out with your buddies until your lap comes back around. It's just a load of fun. Yeah, so I'm racing with my nephew Blake, and so this is going to be a lot of fun. The first two guys out of that row that you just saw go in the woods, that was Brett Gorley and Hunter McDaniel, and those two are stupid fast. So this is going to be interesting, because I know Blake is going to want to catch up with those guys and try and race them, and then it's going to be up to me to not drop the ball. So, as if I wasn't nervous enough already. This is like my first fast race, maybe the second fast race since I started racing hard enduro. But here we go. Let's see how this pans out. Now, one thing I enjoy about these buddy races is usually they're grouped in by like ages, combined ages. And so that means there's going to be slower riders starting in front of faster riders. And something I've always loved about racing is trying to pass my way through people. And so this is just a really fun way for me to kind of get warmed up, Breathe. Yeah, breathe. I find myself holding my breath a lot at the beginning of races, which is something I definitely need to get over. But as long as I tell myself, tell myself to breathe, I know I'm thinking about it, so it usually goes away pretty quick. Yeah, that's another thing. There's going to be a lot cut out of this first lap because there's a lot of loose mud, wet mud on the top of the ground. And until it gets, beat in and spread out to where it's not so sloppy like that, there's going to be a lot of spots where I get mud on the camera and I just cut the video out. I'm not going to deal with all that. I'll leave a couple spots in because they're important, but for the most part, if it's got mud, I'm not going to put it in here.
It's slick.
And it's slick. And I know the last video I put up, I had issues with too much tire pressure. Well, guess what? Did it again. Although I thought, 8 pounds at a hair scramble would be fine. But no, this tire does not like high pressure, I guess. So I'm sliding all over the place. I can't hold traction. But, again, my front's sliding as much as my back. So I'm figuring it's just the terrain. Yeah, it's like I got baby deer legs or something.
On your right.
That's another really cool thing about these smaller races, which I can't say they're small races. Red Fox and all the other venues for the Southern Indiana Grand Prix Series, they're starting to get huge turnouts. But there's a whole bunch of kids racing in the adult races, and I love to see these little rippers out here on the big course duking it out. A lot of these kids are really fast too. Oh yeah, and 85s throw massive roofs. It's ridiculous. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to skip ahead because a lot of this lap is just covered with these two globs of mud. But this guy right here, This was a frustrating part of the first lap for me because I couldn't find a good spot to get around him. And if there was a good spot, I wasn't close enough at the time because I was wiping my goggles. This guy threw so much roost that, I mean, every time I got close enough to him, he'd get into a corner and just blast me. And he had several opportunities to let me around. He knew I was there. I was revving, but, you know, I can't blame him. I mean, it's the first lap. You get excited. Nerves are running. Adrenaline's pumping and everything. You don't think about it sometimes, but I kind of wish he would have let me around. Yeah, I was getting it in my mouth and in my nose, and my goggles were caked up. And I finally wiped the camera, but I'm sitting there still trying to wipe my goggles. It's just, that's ridiculous.
See anything behind this guy? What is he trying to race, man?
Yeah, I was a little frustrated. Sorry, bud. No offense. I was just frustrated. There we go, right at the end of the lap. Perfect. Alright, so here comes the first swap, and I can't find Blake. There he is. Alright. Rule is you gotta bump the tire or come in contact with your buddy in some way, shape, or form. So we just bump the tires usually, and he takes off. So I didn't have a camera on Blake, so we're just gonna skip to when I get back on the bike.
It's getting fun now.
You'll hear Gorley, he'll sound like a bumblebee behind.
Yeah.
Alright, so I did skip my second lap because there was nothing exciting about it. But pretty much, and here comes Blake. So pretty much what happened on my second lap, I was told that Blake had got us up into third. Now I thought third in class initially, but then they said third overall. So I went back out on my second lap and I just tried to ride and not lose too much time to Brett and Hunter. So Blake comes around this time, and come to find out he's passed Brett Gorley's buddy. So now I take off ahead of Brett Gorley, and my whole purpose for this entire lap is to keep Brett as close as possible. I'm not expecting to keep Brett Gorley behind me at all. This dude is wicked fast, and he goes to Loretto, races 250 and 450B. His brother's trying to qualify for supercrosses and stuff. He has qualified to run supercrosses. I don't know if he's made a night race or not, but they're fast. The Gorley boys are fast, and he's behind me.
On your left.
Biggest thing I can do at this point, really the only thing I can do at this point is just enjoy the race, enjoy this trail, because at this point in the race, the ground is perfect. All the loose, sloppy mud is knocked off, and there's some beautiful ruts dug into the course. So I'm just on rails trying to have a good time and get my flow going. Oh, and I should mention, as far as traction goes, after the first lap, I took a lot of air pressure out of my back tire, dropped it down to what feels like about 4 or 5 pounds, and it was a game changer. It's a whole different ball game now. I can grip like I know I should be able to with this kind of tire. Although I still can't pick a line. But whatever, we're rolling on. That line I just took, keep an eye on that my next lap. I don't think anybody else was hitting that. It looked pretty fresh. Maybe one other person hit that line over the log. But the next lap around, it doesn't look any more, blown off. So I don't know if there's that many people hitting that line at all. I mean, maybe Hunter, the fast guys, maybe Blake hit it. But I don't think that many people saw that line.
Hey, a rock! I didn't think this place had any.
Guess you learn something new every day.
Oh, shnikes! Man, I'm having a hard time entering these lines. That's the part of fast riding that I'm losing by not riding in a bunch. I'm losing those. I'm losing that edge, knowing when and where to, how to enter a line. That's something that I need to keep my edge up with.
That's definitely something I need to work on. I need to actually balance my hard enduro riding and my high speed riding, because you lose a lot of that instinct for high speed stuff, and it actually, even though you don't really get into a lot of high speed stuff in hard enduro, it's still, that high speed instinct still plays a role, and I didn't realize it until I got here and doing a higher speed race, and I'm like, man, I'm way off. I need to stay sharp. All right, well, we're not quite, maybe right about halfway into the lap, and I still haven't seen nor heard Britt. And I'm kind of wondering, he's surely got to be up on me real close now. So I'm listening for anybody coming up behind me, and I'm not hearing anything. Yeah, here come the deep ruts. This place has got a lot of sand mixed in with the soil, so if it gets any kind of rain at all, the ruts get deep. It's just bottomless.
The more people I can put between me and Gorley, the better. I can't hold Gorley off. But if I can give him some traffic to deal with. Like this.
Yeah, this is where I started trying to put together some kind of strategy. I knew I couldn't beat him head to head, so I had to try and get around as many people as quickly as possible. Anything I could do to give him more work to get around me. And just hope I got lucky enough that he met up with those guys in a spot where it's really hard to pass. There's something else playing in my favor right now, and that is I am having an absolute ball. I'm starting to really get into a flow and have a lot of fun, and it only gets better as the day goes on. I start getting more and more of my edge back, and I love, deep ruts, soft ground, lots of lines, and that's exactly what today is.
Thanks, bud.
kids out here, and I love it. Turns out, I think just about all of them raced the morning youth race also. So these kids are just diehard. But this is also the first race in this area. So a lot of these kids are just amped up and just want to ride as much as possible, and I love it.
On your left! I don't know, something must have happened to Gorley. There's no way.
Oh yeah, Brett Gorley. He's hasn't passed me yet. So, like I said, something had to have happened to him because I shouldn't have been able to hold him off this long. But hey, I'm not gonna argue it.
On your right!
There we go. I think that is my third lap completed.
H2!
So we'll go down and give Blake a bump and see what happens when he gets back.
Go, 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 go! I was wondering what in the world was going on. He should have passed me by then.
All right. So Blake's about to come back in, and come to find out, not only did I hold Gorley off, I actually didn't let him make up any time on us.
Not enough to really worry about it.
Well, if you have a good race, he might be able to catch you, but I doubt it. He probably made up close to a minute on it.
All right. Now that we've got Gorley and his buddy securely behind us, I guess we're focusing up on the next team, Hayden Fryhot and Hunter McDaniel. These guys were quite a ways ahead of us while we were battling with Brett Gorley and his buddy. Blake made up about a minute on him. I can't remember what they said the gap was when we started focusing on them, but Blake made up a minute. So my goal is to just come out here and put down the best lap I can and try and not lose anything to Hunter, because again, Hunter can blow my doors off head to head. There's no competition. But there is one thing kind of fueling me up for this lap. This battle we're getting in is for the overall win. So, needless to say, I kind of want that. The other thing that's really going to help me on this lap is I'm totally comfortable with the bike. The suspension settings I clicked on to, I'm trying to find a setting to go back and forth between hard enduro and hare scramble. And I think I nailed it for this race. So between getting my tire pressure sorted out, get my suspension settings sorted out, and then having a good solid idea of how the course is going to break down, and the fact that buried myself in that rut, but the fact that I know how this course is going to break down and I like how it's shaping up, everything's just playing into my favor for this lap, and I'm having even more fun than I was having earlier.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Alright, what we got going on here?
And something else that I talked with a lot of guys after the race about is how many lines magically popped up in the last 2 laps. There's the beat-in course there, and then I think it finally got so bad that enough people were going just far enough off the beaten course to find these smooth lines. They were just getting blasted in enough that you could see them quickly. Except for this one. Still, nobody took that line. I don't even think Blake took that line, it looks like. I mean, there's no tire marks on there. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of lines open up on this lap that are super smooth, and while they may be longer, they're smoother, and every other line out there, like all these 3 lines, 4 lines, 2 lines, however many was there, they're getting to the point. See, I can go off the side here. There was a little bit of a beaten path there. I started seeing those pop up more because every other line was so deep and full of roots that it was faster to go a little bit out of the way for a smoother line.
Dude, that was a deep rut.
And there are some that are just unavoidable. Like, see that one there? That was brand new for this lap. That wasn't there the previous laps. After reviewing this video, I realized how much I coast on that motocross track, and it's way too much. I should have been on the throttle a lot later than I was coming into the woods, but you know, the stuff you learn by watching this stuff over. I'll fix it next time.
Took our way through this stuff. Don't do nothing stupid, and we're good.
It'd be a real shame to toss away all this work just for a dumb, overly aggressive line choice. Hey, it's Patrick. He's racing his Alta. That thing's so cool.
Patrick, woo, buddy! Nothing stupid. There we go, nothing stupid there. Smooth lines. Don't take no risk. Slower is faster in conditions like this. Hey, buddy!
Yeah, I just wanted to creep up that. I don't want to be known as the guy that blasts a dude picking up his bike.
Oh, man. All right, wake up. Wake up and breathe.
There it is again. Every once in a while, I gotta mention something to myself. I felt myself kind of getting a little baby deer leg thing going on again. Couldn't hold my lines. It just takes a second to tell yourself to wake up, take a couple breaths, very deliberate, deep breaths, and get your focus back going again. Now, this is something I feel is kind of controversial with the whole turnout of this race. The course worker just opened up this rerouted section, and yeah, there's some tire marks on it, but I don't know if Hunter actually made this reroute or not.
All right, this is new trail. I don't know how how much that changed, how much it cut out or added.
And you'll get an idea why I'm concerned with this once this lap is done with. But for right now, all I'm thinking about is how good I'm feeling. It's right up my alley. This is exactly the type of race I love racing. And it's just, I'm having so much fun. And I haven't had this much fun at a cross-country style race in a very long time. It's usually been, the last few cross-country races I've done, it's usually been mixed emotions. You know, yeah, I'm having fun, it's a cool course and everything, but I should be doing way better. I know I'm faster than that. I should be doing way better. But today, there was none of that. And I think mostly it's the mindset I came into this race. It's a buddy race. It's just for fun. And there's no pressure, you know. Oh, okay, I can't say that. There's a lot of pressure because Blake got us up there within striking distance of the overall. So I can't really drop the ball on this one. But, you know, going into the race, I didn't have pressure. I think that's the biggest thing that helped me out. And it's mindset, man. You go into a race with a good mindset, you're going to have a good race. That's something I really need to work on as well. More kids, and they're toughing it out. This is a long race for kids. Kids usually race 45 minutes-ish on a singles race, and I don't know how long they race for the buddy race, but they came back out for a 2.5-hour buddy race. Just gotta give them props. They're tough as nails. There it is. I know where I'm at. I'm almost done with my last lap of the race, and then it's just up to Blake. And all I'm thinking right now is, man, I hope I didn't lose too much time. I was told Blake, if I put a good lap down, Blake would be in striking distance for his lap. And he's faster than Hayden, but they had a big gap on us, so I don't know. We were really wondering if he'd be fast enough to catch Hayden at the gap they had on us.
H2! Last lap, Falcon!
So that's it for my race. I'm gonna park it and watch. But we got to looking at the stopwatches, and Blake came in to the motocross section across the way, and he was, I think it was like 15 seconds behind the leader. And I knew when he came through that close that, barring any major accidents, he was gonna take the overall. And what got me really excited was while he was on his lap, the my brother and my dad that was doing all the timekeeping, my sister-in-law, they all came up to me and said I had made time on Hunter McDaniel. Now, like I said, we're going back to that line thing where they opened up the new section. I still am not 100% sure if, that new line was faster and he missed it and I took it, or what happened. Maybe he got hung up somewhere. I don't know. But the fact is, I made up a fairly substantial amount of time on him, and I'm gonna just say that was because I felt that good, and maybe Hunter had a little trouble. But regardless, it was a lot of fun, and Blake came in to the finish after his last lap, and he had passed the leader and put something in the neighborhood of 15 to 20-ish seconds, maybe a little more, but less than 30 seconds. So it was a nail biter to the end, but we ended up coming out on top with the overall win, and man, it was just a great day. And I can't thank the Red Fox team enough for all the hard work they put into this race. These guys do a phenomenal job every event they have, and again, all the money that they bring in, all the profits go to St. Jude Children's Hospital. They do fantastic work, and they announced before the race that they had raised over $250,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospitals. It's just fantastic, and I'm very proud to be a small contribution to that. So, the next race on my schedule is Sears Nightmare Night Hard Enduro. Nighttime Hard Enduro, yeah. It's going to be amazing. I've got me a killer light kit for the bike, and I'm going to get me a headlight for my helmet soon. I should probably get on that. But that's going to be something new to me, and I can't wait to see the video that comes out of it. We'll see you all there.